I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. Oh, I shouldn't laugh at that. But either way, hey, welcome to us oh-so-funtastic tank-spanking spectacular GuildWar, because that's pretty much what you're going to be getting. Buckle in, get your popcorn ready. It's like 20 minutes. So, right here, we're going into a Choux, a Mercedes, and who's the last one? Oh yes, Ocean Breeze Luluca on defense. So you can immediately see, like, oh, so we're in for a long, fun time. Anytime you're dealing with anything that actually gives defense buff to the entire team, you already know you're going to be in for some fun. So I decided, okay, well, I'll just bring Yulha as my one green mitigator unit, my Roana as my green healer, and then my Pyllis to basically just tank every fucking hit. So we've already taken a fair amount of damage from the Mercedes, so we were able to retaliate with a Yulha S3. We've deleted the Mercedes once, and now we just have to go into her a few more times with Shadow Knight Pyllis, and Shadow Knight Pyllis, being the incredibly based waifu that she is, has Rocket Punch. With Rocket Punch, you don't have to give a fuck, because it is one of the single best artifacts I think we have ever gotten for, well, see, that's where the fun debate really comes in. I was about to say oh yeah, one of the best artifacts for knights. That's not true. If you want to talk about the best artifacts for knights, there's Elbrus Ritual Sword, there's Aureus, hell, there's even Noble Oath to some degree, there's Holy Sack. Knights have a shitload of good artifacts, but they have almost no good offensive artifacts. The only one that's good is Elbrus Ritual Sword, and that one is very, very selective on who you would actually give it to. So, for example, Elbrus Ritual Sword is almost always glued to a Belian. And the reason why it's almost always glued to a Belian is because whenever she would counterattack, she would counterattack with an entire AoE to the whole team. Which, that's a counterattack, which means you don't have to actually have a counter set on her. And if you don't have a counter set on her, you can put an injury set on that. And LOL, you are toxic as fuck. Something that I still can't believe, we still haven't really done any true counter to injury. There really isn't one. The only real, true, honest answer is barrier. That's it. And even still, that's kind of just putting a really shitty band-aid onto a situation instead of an actual solution to it. But yeah, you've probably noticed I'm not really talking about much here, because honest to God, there's not much to talk about. So you're going into Ocean Breeze Luluca, something that I don't have a lot of experience going up against, but if you were to go up against, say, an Ocean Breeze Luluca, because the AoEs are going to happen. It's going to happen one way or another, because you're essentially going into a tank kind of turn 2, or just some kind of a mitigation kind of team, or a matter of, hey, we're built to tank your attack. So, with that being said, if I wasn't dealing with something along the lines of, say, Choux, for example, and Mercedes, because if I'm dealing with Mercedes, I ain't fucking with that shit. I'm always going to throw on a Roana onto that. Because Magic for Friends is cancer, fuck Magic for Friends, it's a horrible, stupid fucking artifact. But if, say, Choux wasn't there, and whatever, and if you're just dealing with, some other kind of shenanigans along with Ocean Breeze, I would really say, that seems like it might be pretty weak to, say, an ML Kawazu. But then, of course, it also really just depends on what's on your team. So, here, we've already killed the Mercedes, we've killed the Choux, because the Choux is only going to go into Pyllis. Pyllis has a metric shitload of defense. We also have a mitigator in Yulha. There you go. The first round is straight up already won. There's really nothing that the guy can do to win. Because, it just seems to me if you were going to go and, see this team on, defense, it doesn't seem really all that terribly frightening or scary. It might put some people off to hitting it, because you are going to be taking your sweet time going into it, because if you don't have a effective means of one-tapping, you don't have a really well-built Watcher Shuri, you don't have a lot of confidence in just any kind of one-tappers that are on your team, because these aren't super HP bloat units. These are really more high defense oriented because of the defense buff coming in. Well, hey, look at there, we're done. So, speaking of tankish shit, let's talk about some more tankish shit. So here's Conqueror Lilias, Apocalypse Ravi, and Belian. Oh, goody. That sounds like fun. So, I know. How about we go ahead and poison this team, because, it irritates me. So we're going to bring in Sharun, Death Dealer Ray, and Magic Scholar Doris. Magic Scholar Doris is there strictly as a means of, hey, here's my bait for A Ravi. I do not give a fuck. Hit me as much as you want. You will not break me. Just not going to happen. And 2, we have to go through a Belian. So remember what I was talking about, Elbrus Ritual Sword? There it is right there. So she's also on injury. Pretty much another thing that I already just discussed. So we're going to be slowly starting to take some injury damage. The good news is, however, we don't necessarily lose damage for obtaining injury on our units. So that's a good thing. Now, the bad thing is, we're still taking a little bit of an RNG check for how many times the Belian is going to attack. So, even though it is injury and it's little bits of damage, it's still damage nonetheless. So, thankfully, we didn't get completely overrun with shit. So the initial strategy was to go for Conqueror Lilias first. So the reason why I wanted to do that was I just wanted to put her to sleep, or just to stop her from moving. But thankfully, we were able to get a little bit more injury or venom throughout the rest of the team. And because of that, bam. So this big hit right here is essentially, the Conqueror Lilias is dead. Any one single hit will pretty much kill her. Well, if that stupid little barrier wasn't there. But, like, hey, any other turn is going to kill her. Like, right here. So now all we have left is Apocalypse Ravi and Belian. So, with Belian, now that Conqueror Lilias is gone, we really have almost nothing to really worry about, because if we just get lucky a few times with, like, sleep procs or anything of that nature, we can kind of control this team as we see fit. And also, they're taking absurd amounts of injury. So, with this level of injury, and that much venom that she had on her due to those random dual attacks that we did get, yo, that Belian is fucked. Like, just no shot. And now, we're just going to go into A Ravi. I think this attack right here actually kills her. And it did. Yeah, just all around a pretty damn fun team to bring this into. Don't get too lax there, because we're probably going to see it again. So now, here is a Lua, Mercedes, and a Choux. So I initially thought, okay, so am I just going to start autoing this? Because I was going to start autoing and just going into the Choux. However, an unseen factor rears its ugly head, and then I have to nope out of there and change my strategy fucking immediately. So, first things first, yeah, we're just going to go into the Choux, build up some barrier, anything at all. And then I suddenly notice something. That's fucking injury. So that is an injury Mercedes. Okay, turn the ship around. Fuck this. We're going to go ahead and go into the Mercedes now. Because if we do not go into the Mercedes now, we run an extreme risk of losing. Not because, like, the Mercedes is like a super threat. It's because the Choux is there. So there's 2 options that you can go about this. You can either say, fuck the Mercedes and just keep going after the Choux. But I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the damage that I'm going to deal to kill Choux quickly. Because I have Christy with me. Christy's only there to provide any extra effect res so that I don't get controlled by the Lua. That's the only reason why she's there. And any and all, like, little bits of damage is pretty much going to go into one unit, along with my Shadow Knight Pyllis. So, we've gotten 1 kill on the Mercedes, because this Mercedes is actually very, very squishy. Like, actually absurdly squishy at that. Like, yeah, she's only got, like, 10k HP, but, like, I swear it feels like she has no defense at all. Because, like, she's rocking an injury set. So there's not really any speed, there's not really any power, there's not really anything else to her. So, just a few hits into her and she's gone. So we have a little bit of injury on us. So things look, things don't look bad yet. But if this was, honestly, if this was a stronger Choux, I would be a little bit more worried. Because I think we even get I think we get maybe a few S1, S2s into us. I don't think it really happens. I don't know, maybe I get lucky in that regard. But the Choux didn't really scare me with the damage that I saw. I just decided to take that chance of, like, okay, no, we need to kill the Mercedes now, because if I leave the Mercedes alone, like S3, attack buff, S2, and the follow-up attack. Like, that's just an absurd amount of hits. That's a lot of injury really, really quickly if you're just not prepared to tank shit. Because, like, my Shadow Knight Pyllis is already at, like, 14k HP. And that can be very, very bad going into a Choux. Because sometimes, even whenever I'm rocking absurdly high defensive options on my Shadow Knight Pyllis, I mean, I've been hit by some crazy shit from Choux before. I've been hit for, like, what, through barrier and through def buff, like, what, 3 or 4k on the S1, and then, like, an additional 6k or something on the S2. I mean, that's actually, like, that's run ending. That can actually stop you, like, 100%. So that's pretty much why I decided to just pivot, go off into Mercedes, kill her, so we don't have to deal with as much injury as we could have dealt with, and now all we have left is Lua. So, yeah. That was pretty much the general strategy there. So if the Mercedes was not injury, I had a very good real possibility of just leaving her alone because of the amount of healing that you would generate from Roana and counterattacks and shenanigans. If that was the case, didn't happen, whatever, injury, that's how it is. So, oh hey, looky there, it's literally the same team that we fought that first time. So here, we essentially are going to do the same stuff, except right here I decide, okay, I'm just going to go full on into it, and I'm going to see what all I can get done here. So I think what I end up doing is, I think I end up crippling the Belian, or I just get very unlucky and the Conqueror Lilias pulls a Ravi a couple of times. So that's like the other bad situation that you're in, because Conqueror Lilias is only going to go into Death Dealer Ray. Now, Apocalypse Ravi is only going to go into Magic Scholar Doris. That's generally what you want. But, well, I don't think everything works out perfectly here. Like, I don't think I even get a lot of sleeps here and there, but, like, I think I have just enough tank ability that's on my kit that I'm still able to just do just fine. So, like, right here is where I was starting to feel a little bit nervous, because, like, oh, shit. I definitely don't want to be seeing any Apocalypse Ravis being dragged. So then I decide, okay, well, how about we just try to put the Conqueror Lilias to sleep now, and then we'll see if we can spread any and all venom onto Belian. Because the first time we spread all of our venom on Conqueror Lilias, now we're going to spread all of our venom onto Belian. And it kind of feels like the best option may very well be this option, but of course, there's luck. Luck factors are everywhere, man. Because, like, look at this first Cloud of Death. That Belian is fucking dead. Like, it's next turn, it's dead. I don't even think I need to hit it. But I think I hit it anyway. Oh no, I decided not to hit it because it's asleep, and then its next turn, it just dies from Venom Ticks. So, then, now we're just going to go into Conqueror Lilias, and Shazam, we've essentially already won. However, there is one small factor that you do always have to keep in mind of anytime you're dealing with Apocalypse Ravi. Because straight up, this Apocalypse Ravi got mad lucky and hasn't been hit by like hardly any venom at all. So here's where it is. So if you're able to consistently land the S1 and venom procs and all that other jazz with Sharun, then you have no actual like issues because you'll cool down her S3 to the point where she'll never use it. But if you're not paying attention like a certain somebody, me, then you happen to notice that you're not landing all of the S1s on Sharun properly on the A-Ravi, and she just might land an S3 on your Doris. Now, this happens. Hasn't happened yet, but because, like, A-Ravi has, like, monstrous CR gain. Every time you hit her, she just moves up the CR bar like a mad motherfucker. That's just how the fucking character is. And I had to wake her up here because I had to hit her. I do not reset her, and then this goes into Doris. I do not have Def Buff up right at this moment. So if she had more damage on her, or if I had even a little bit more damage on my Doris, I very well could have lost her there, and then he would have brought back another unit. Now, thankfully, that doesn't fucking happen, but that's the one risk that you can really come into fighting this particular team with this setup. I could possibly have better gear, but, like, hey, that's just the way we go. So, hey, looky there. There's Ran, Mercedes, and Savior Adin. Okay, well, Savior Adin, I'm going to just throw Dark Corvus on that because I don't feel like trying right now. And Destina is there as an anchor, and Ocean Breeze Luluca there is there to basically erase everything that Ran just did at the start of the fight. So, with that being said, We have given ourselves death buff. We have completely crippled the Ran, who the Ran I don't even think was on like damage at all. He didn't even crit my units. So, yeah, that Savior Aiden S3 did fucking nothing. However, oh, looky there, another injury Mercedes. Oh, okay. Well, sorry to say, but this doesn't change my strategy, because I was initially going to go for Mercedes in the first place anyway. The reason why is because Mercedes is going to only go into your 2 green units. There's an off chance that you might be like tagged by the other part of the attack onto your Dark Corvus, which is what you would want, but like, fuck it. We're just not going to deal with that shit. We're just going to extinct her now, because then we don't have to deal with the revive. So now all we have left is Ran, who has absurdly no damage, and still managed to somehow crit me through blind. Thanks, game. You the best. And then a Savior Aiden. So, with that being said, the next turn that Dark Corvus gets, because I think he's going to get hit right here anyway, which doesn't matter if it crits or not, it's going to give me the full turn cooldown. Shazam. Now I can just kill the Savior Aiden. Congratulations. You cannot win now. So, with that being said, go ahead and grab your drink of choice or grab your vape of choice, pretty much whatever the hell it is that is your vice to get through this horrible fucking thing we call reality nowadays. And that's the way we do it. So, at this point I'm like, oh, do I want to even try to like do truck shenanigans to kill Ran? It's like, nah, not really. I just kind of want to get this over with. So, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get a chance to do like another Devil's Descent with Dark Corvus, but like his health is absurdly low. So, fuck it. Any single like attack will do it, and it just does it right here. And Shazam! Let's move on to the fun match, shall we? Oh, looky there. It's Senya, Choux, and I Winter. So here, I straight up was in a, I was in a mood of, yo, dog, I don't give a fuck. So, I brought Roana strictly to tank the one attack from I Winter. So the I Winter has very, very high effectiveness. She was able to hit my Roana. And then I also brought Milim strictly to kill the I Winter. Now, you may be thinking, like, wow, this looks like suicide for your Milim anyway. And you're pretty much correct. So this was strictly just to kill the I Winter. So we still have to deal with Senya and we have to deal with Choux. Now, the good news is the Choux did not have any immunity on her character. So because she didn't have immunity, we were able to throw on a provoke onto her just to delay the S1, or to delay the S3 that she has just by a little bit. And because we were able to do that, okay, cool. So Milim at least has dodge buff now, so we didn't get absolutely fucking omega smacked. Because yeah, Choux will devour Milim. She will eat her alive. Milim is the fucking mouse, and in this case, she was not the rat, she was the cat. So, thankfully, we were able to deal with that, like, just as a means of, okay, let's just postpone a turn a little bit here. And then I start to realize, oh, fuck, it's been a while since I fought a Senya that has as much damage as she does. And yeah, you saw that, right? That was 16k on Milim. Of course. Nothing wrong with Choux, guys. Choux's totally fucking balanced. But, yeah, like I said, I went into this match fully preparing to actually sack Milim, but she actually pulled through like a trooper, and she sticks around for a bit. So I'm actually the most worried at this particular moment of taking excessive damage from the Senya and then not having a healer at some point so I can keep this going. Because as long as you have a healer with Pyllis, you can just absolutely farm this team. It's 100% easy. So I was planning on bringing 2 green units into this fight, but I was just like, I don't know, man, I just don't want to fucking deal with I Winter and her bullshit. So that's why I brought Milim. And we were able to get that one really, really kick-ass lucky Dragon Buster off onto Senya. And because of that, we're able to delete her out. And now all we have left is Choux over here. And she's very susceptible to provoke. And because of that, we have her at low enough health. And hey, looky there, Milim just being super awesome and beat the rat. You go, girl. with that being said, yeah, waifu Pyllis wins again. But either way, I don't know. This Guild War was all right. The one thing about it in particular that stood out to me was just how fucking tanky it was. Like, there was just a lot of like annoying bulk shit on the team, and hey, I respect you for that, because hey, you straight up won the Guild War over the two of our guilds, because I mean, hell, I'll spoil it now. Our guild's really fucking trap. we fuck up a lot, but yeah, with that being said, you can fight like a lot of these other guilds in like different ways, especially for that last one. Like, you could have gone full fucking like damage mitigator or anything like that. Like, you could have brought Armin, or you could have brought Yulha into that as well. Like, I see a lot of my guildmates bring things like Mediator Cowrick, Lone Crescent Bologna, and like Yulha into that, and I can see it working. The only reason why I don't like to do that is it just feels very, very unsafe. Because, one, this is how it works. The Eye Winter will go into you, hit you big, and then you're going to activate, like, non-attack skills, and then she'll hit you again. So, like, that's two really big hits into your Yulha, and you might be able to kill a unit with her, but then you also run, like, I just think you run a really high risk of losing the character. But, oh, hey, looky there, we're at the end of our time. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. It does wonders for my mental health. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Have a good one. Later.